All right, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Let the record show that we do have a quorum. Please stand for the invocation. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord, and we thank you for this time we have to come together and discuss the business of the school district. Lord, I want to lift up the students, the staff, the teachers, parents, Lord, as we prepare to start another school year. So, Lord, I just ask you to be with them as they go through this change that we go through every year. Lord, I want to ask your protection on our student athletes that are already out there practicing, Lord, in the heat. Just keep them safe. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Now for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right now.
So I think we're still registering people to speak, so we'll give that a few minutes.
If you intend to speak, make sure that you sign up with Norma. If you intend to say anything.
Want to make sure we won't talk.
You need to sign up.
Sign up anyway.
Hey, friend. I didn't see you. Sorry. Yeah. You hear about something there? My God.
These are up here.
Okay, so we've got some people signed up to address the board. So I'm just going to go down the list here. First, we've got Alan Shook. So Alan, if you please stand up, state your name, give us your address. You've got 2 minutes to speak, and don't expect any responses.
No response.
Don't expect any responses from the board. You're here to comment. You're not here to have a discussion.
Legally, the board is not allowed to make comments, sir.
Alan Shook, 607 Hill County Road, 1450 South, Itasca, Texas. Just actually, a very simple question, actually, maybe 4. Do we know how much the bond you're asking for is this time in November? Do we know the total amount?
Sir, we haven't, if someone's going to be presenting that today, we can't again address your questions.
Okay, so that's all fine, so you're not going to answer it?
No, sir.
Okay.
Not this time.
Do we know the projects and what you're wanting to do with this bond?
Sir, I believe that if you allow the committee to present, you'll find your answers.
Okay, so we're not going to have answers to the project. On these projects, do we happen to have any bids or estimates on what they're going to be? No answer. Okay. Number 4, since you refuse to answer, is it okay if I publicly put this in the internet? My questions and no answer from the committee.
I'll just say you don't have any answers.
Well, no answer then, okay.
Sir, the board is not allowed to answer questions.
Okay, I'll just put that on there then. I'll put that on there that the board is not allowed to answer questions.
Ms. Teal is live streaming, it's all good. We
That's
cannot
fine.
answer any, that's.
Legally,
And I'll let
they
the-
are
everybody knows that's
allowed
I'll let the
to address
public know
matters
that you're
of
not gonna
fact.
answer these questions.
I'll state again, this is a public comment period.
That's fine.
Not a public discussion period with the board members.
Okay.
Okay?
And I'll let them know that while I was here, you did not want to answer questions.
Public comment, not public discussion.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next on the list, Jeff Mashburn. If you'll please stand, state your name, your address, and
My name is Jeff Mashburn. My address is 3336 FM 934. My comment or question, or I'll just say a comment, is I'm gonna refer to a comment that was made on the February 20th town hall meeting at the library on the previous bond on May the 3rd that failed. And in that town hall meeting with public forum, everybody was there, and it was recorded. The superintendent of the board stated that they would never put forth a bond measure the district cannot afford. That was your statement, it was recorded. My question, I'm asking the board right now for the names, addresses, documents, and records of taxpayers you met with and you discussed their finances with on whether or not they can afford an increase in their property taxes. That's all I have to say.
thank you. Okay, next, Susie Campos.
Susie Campos, my address is 302 East Mission Street, here in Itasca. I just wanted to come here and just make a statement. I know our committee's supposed to make a statement to y'all in regards to a bond possibly for coming up in November, and I just want to state that I was at the meeting the other day here at the school. I am class of 94, so I am an alum, so I know how the school is and how long it's been here, all the facilities. My parents worked here for a long, long time, and so with what's about to be presented, I am in full force behind it. Things need to change for our kids. We need to upgrade everything possible for our kids. My son's going to go to high school, and he is a student who has some disabilities and stuff, but I want what's best for him just like anybody else. And we need to do what's best for our kids in the future of Itasca, and this is what we need to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next, Kelly Strong.
Kelly Strona. I actually filled that out, thinking I would need to do so in order to make a presentation tonight as a representation of the facilities planning committee. So, yeah.
All right, Randall Ward.
Good evening. My name is Pop. Here's the deal. If I'm not mistaken.
You better say your address.
Oh, yeah, 103 East Wilkerson, Itasca, Texas.
Thank you.
If I'm not mistaken, it was said that there's going to be a presentation given where answers to certain questions that were asked will be addressed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we post that too? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. And last on the list, Jason Brown.
That's me. I'm Jason Brown. I'm at 102 Circle Drive. I support the bond as well. I think it's great. We're going to try to hopefully push this through and get it because these kids need it. There's a lot of things that need to be addressed. And I think there's been plenty of information given to the public and invited many times to be able to come get any questions that you have. They present at these meetings, so come join them. That's all I want.
All right, thanks, everybody. So we will move on now down to the action item that's on the agenda tonight, and that is to consider and possibly approve an order calling a bond election on November 4th, 2025.
I'm gonna stand back over here so I can see y'all, I can see y'all, and I can see the board.
Do you have that presentation now?
Okay, all right, ready? Is there smart ticket? I'm sure. Oh.
Apologize for any technical problems.
This is the bond that they ran back in May. It was $34 million in principal. With 23 estimated interest according to their voter information document. And they still had almost 11 million in debt. That number will come down for this bond order. So yeah, there was this chart that was put out about this. And we'll update this. Most of these fast facts here are going to remain the same because they're basic state law. Okay, this is heavy. I'm going to sit down. Here we go.
Can you get in for my house, just by chance? I could stand closer, but I'd like to see it bigger. Okay, well, he works on that. Like I said a minute ago, my name is Kelly Strona. I'm here tonight as a member, like I said, a participant in the Facility Planning Committee, and had the opportunity to join the meeting in regards to the proposal that we'll make tonight to you all. And I'll walk you through all the details that I know you would like to hear. I'd like to tell you I can do it from memory, but I can't. No? Okay. I can roll with it. Okay. So, are you going to click my slides for me? Thank you. Okay, so for individuals new in the room that haven't seen this before, the purpose of the Facility Planning Committee is threefold: to assess, review, and prioritize as indicated there. The members of the Facility Planning Committee is a conglomerate of individuals that are parents to kids in district, some of our staff members that are here this evening too, and obviously various community members throughout Itasca that joined in the conversations as well. So the intent and purpose of the committee is to take assessment of our facilities district-wide, take note of their condition or lack therein, and also to review some of the projections that have come out in terms of enrollment and individuals moving into the community, a snapshot look at some of our financial data that they have, and then also taking now into consideration the results of the survey that came out back in early summer, I think it was. I can't remember when it actually came out. All that to be said, the information was reviewed and compiled into quite a list of needs and wants that, again, still exist for Itasca ISD. Okay, so I probably can't tell you exactly where in the district all these photos are, but regardless, I think everybody in the room can see that these are not up to par conditions for our students. whether they be in any sort of storage facility, floors in classrooms. I know the middle and the bottom is a bathroom. Looks like another one is a locker room. But regardless, not the best of condition, and that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of results that the Facilities Committee found. Okay, so new to this cycle is the results to the community survey that came out. So the nuts and bolts of that survey were that we had 64 respondents to the link that went out. Of those results, 52 of them have lived, or 52%, excuse me, have lived in Itasca ISD for quite a while, 20 years or more. So you have some long-termers that were providing some feedback on that survey. 86% of those respondents voted in favor of the bond, which is good. I will say I was hoping to hear maybe some more from the proponents of the bond so that we can hear what was not addressed in the bond or what they wanted to see differently. That kind of information is important when we take into consideration next steps. But 86% of them, not all of them, were proponents. Go ahead. Okay, I definitely cannot read all of those. It's okay, I think maybe from here. So this is a ranking list of the priorities that came out from the projects that were proposed. And it was a crystal clear winner on the top priority at the #1 spot is the cafeteria and kitchen. I think everybody knew that thing has been here for longer than I have been alive, and it is in need of a complete and total revamp and overhaul. #2 is the elementary multi-purpose room, which would double as a storm shelter for the kids and the staff in the district, which I believe is now a state mandate if I'm not mistaken. So that was a clear #2. From that point, things begin to kind of tie up in terms of ranking of priority. #3 there is the life skills classroom, in addition to some renovation at the elementary, and of course the bathrooms across all 3 campuses, which are in dire need. And then I won't list out everything. You can take a snapshot there if you need, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other entities that were listed as lower on the priority list. One note before we move forward from this slide that I want to call out, that some of these items are not nearly as flashy and as cool as others that are listed. However, some of these will be mandated by the state if we do pass a bond. Most notably, the storm shelter was another one. The ADA requirements, yes. And then one other item that is not state mandated but would absolutely make sense in terms of financial fiscal responsibility is the infrastructure and drainage improvements, because what's the point of building if we don't fix the root of the problem to begin with? So, okay, go ahead. I think if you hit the button one more time, the rest of the slide. Oh, no, okay. So there's data missing on this one, but I think I can navigate it. So the nuts and bolts of this slide is purely to indicate that when we sat here a year ago, I think it was, and we made the initial proposal for the bond, the scope of items that we proposed totaled out to be about $34 million, which is what we went after last spring. Because the time lapse from May to where we predict things are going to be here this fall, that number for the same exact list has now increased up to over $37 million, unfortunately. That's not the good news that any one of us wants to hear, but that is a reality that we are facing. So the only thing that y'all cannot see on this slide for whatever reason is the listing of each item. Okay, go ahead. All right, so tonight we stand before the school board this evening with a recommended bond of $32 million. So that scope is a more streamlined look than what we initially came with back in the spring. Starting at the top there, the 3 entities under new construction would include the cafeteria and the kitchen for our kids. That would hopefully streamline the lunch hour. We could get more kids in a more efficient fashion and have better upgraded facilities for their lunch. The second bullet point there is the life skills section, so it would be brand new builds. And then the elementary multi-purpose room, which would double as a storm shelter, which again is a state mandate if you pass a bond. So that has to be up there. The second bucket category there is renovations. So the restroom improvements, I think anybody who has walked the halls of all three districts knows that the restrooms need some upgrading. The pictures on the earlier slides also is evidence for those of you that have not been on district facilities to see that they're just not top notch. The second bullet point there is secondary science labs. If I can take a second also to say that the district has done a really good job in securing grant dollars over the past year, year and a half, whatever it is. Those grant dollars are awesome when it comes to providing curriculum and instruction for our kids, but they don't pay for the facilities that are needed to actually have those classes. We as a district have to provide the actual facility, the classroom, the equipment in order to conduct those classes that we're trying to provide our students. So that's why secondary science labs, obviously for more than one reason, as somebody who does science, it's kind of fun too. All right, the third bullet point there is existing cafeteria to classroom. So the building that stands currently today as a cafeteria will get converted. We have a map on another slide that you will visually be able to see that. And then some light renovations in the elementary, which I believe would include taking that carpet off the wall, right? And then from the renovation scope, last but not least, high school life skills would have some renovations as well. And then the last bucket for other projects would be the ADA upgrades and then the drainage and infrastructure that was mentioned. All that totaled out to $32 billion. So there's the visual, super hard to see. Super hard to see. So starting at the top, new construction, if you'll hang with me in kind of the top right corner there, that is where the new cafeteria will be, followed by the multi-purpose storm shelter down in the red. And then the other red box kind of towards the bottom left are new classrooms for elementary and life skills, I believe. Can't quite read from there. But in the yellow is the heavy renovation that we talked about. So you'll see art, music, and nurses there in the box that has most of the red, as well as the secondary science labs in the high school down below that. And then the elementary, almost entirely in blue with their light renovations, as well as the life skills in the high school down in the bottom right corner in the blue box. Okay. Okay, so this is the slide that I was really hoping would be a little bit larger for us in the room that don't have really good eyes. Okay, so I'm going to stand kind of sort of behind you, not long. Okay, so across the top you can see the year starting with 2020 on the far left, venturing all the way across to 2025 on the right. The line underneath that I do feel is important. That showcases the inflation rate and how much it's changed over the years since 2020. So you can see right before COVID hit, the inflation rate was 1.8% on the low side. It took some wild swings upwards in the subsequent 2 or 3 years. Although that rate is trending down, it's not negative. We are still growing, we're just not growing at the exact rate that we were before. So important to note and keep in mind as we continue the discussion here. So line 3 is the market value of the average. So make sure we make a note that that is the average market value of a home in Itasca. You can see in 2020, I'm going to round here for the purposes of keeping it quick. The average home costs about $143,000 in the district. That number has since changed to where we stand today, averaging about $175,000 just due to market inflation. Nothing that anyone in this room can control. The line below that is the state homestead exemptions, and you can also see starting in 2020 that number was $25,000. It took an increase, I believe it's in 22 up to $40,000, in 23 went to $100,000, and then this fall will take an increase up to $140,000. Basically, that means that's a deduction that you can take on the value of your house, ultimately culminating in the taxable value of the average home in Itasca, which is that last line underneath in that first section there. So you can see in 2020, the taxable value of an average home in Itasca was $118,000. Because the state homestead exemption has done nothing but increase, which is good for every homeowner, the taxable value of every home in terms of the tax rate for Itasca ISD has subsequently come down. In 2020, it was 118. As it stands today, in 2025, we're projecting that the average home in Itasca, the taxable value would be $35,000. So take a moment to let that sink in. The taxable value of Itasca ISD homes today will average a third of what they did 5 years ago.
What about the 65 and over, it's going to 200,000?
Another
That's
consideration.
a big impact.
Yeah, another consideration. So in that second bucket, that second waiver rise, and I know I'm blocking you, I'm so sorry. We get into the tax rates. So the Itasca ISD tax rate is broken up into two buckets, maintenance and operation, and INS, which stands for interest and sinking. So maintenance and operation is the rate that is needed to just maintain the facility itself, pay our teachers, feed the kids, all that good kind of stuff. The interest and sinking portion is the rate associated with the indebtedness that Itasca has. That money purely goes back to paying bonds that we have. The important thing that I want everybody to see for both rates as they culminate across the years is that both of those rates have done nothing but decrease due to the diligence of the Itasca ISD School Board and superintendents. That makes the proposal that we're making today justified in terms of financial responsibility and less of an impact to members of our community. So again, starting in 2020, I'll just give a very quick overview. The total tax rate for Itasca ISD was $132.97, and without a bond, 2025 is projected to be at 81.22 cents, 0.8122 cents. So far reduction compared to what we were 5 years ago. If we were to pass this or make the recommendation and pass this bond, that rate will increase in terms of the INS bucket. The M&O will remain the same. The INS bucket will increase. I believe it's just shy of 28 cents. It's like 27.92, something of that nature. I did the math earlier, but all in, that rate would culminate into $1.0918. So still, in comparison to historical trends, with the bond, that number is still less than what the Itasca ISD community paid in tax rate for Itasca ISD in 22. Still less. And then that bottom line, I do feel, is also super important. So when you take all that into consideration, the taxable value of the homes that have decreased, the Itasca ISD tax rate that has decreased, minor increase if we pass this bond today, and then do the math. The average monthly school tax due for Itasca homeowners would be $36. $36. In 2024, before the 140,000 Homestead Exemption Act, the monthly tax due by an average Itasca homeowner was $55. A $32 million bond doing really good things for our kids, for our staff, will still cost the community less than it did in 2024. This slide right here is just a point of reference. This just showcases the math that is an increase only. So for the average value of an Itasca home at what will be projected at the end of this year at $179,000 based on inflation rates, the increase in monthly taxes would be $9 and change, $9.16, I think it says. With an average of $109, not quite $110 increase per year by the average homeowner in Itasca. That would be less than $12, obviously less than $10 a month. Okay, so next steps from the facility committee is obviously Itasca ISD Board would like for you all to take this proposal into consideration. The $32 million bond with the projected election timeframe of November of this fall.
Thank you.
So we've got a recommendation from our facility planning committee. I guess, I hope there are not any questions in the board.
Is this information to be available for folks to look at online? I know we did a good job with board information, or bond, I should say, previously, so folks can zoom in.
Yes, all this information will be available online, and we will have a bond website set up, as we've had in the past. And we will also conduct non-publics to make sure that the community is able to ask all the questions and be well informed.
And our maintenance budget per year is roughly $1 million out of the 11, so we have budgeted, right? So, I mean, we really couldn't handle, any one of these jobs.
Yes,
That we're talking about.
Yes,
I think I did fail to say, and I meant to, all of these are estimated project costs. I wish we had it on the slide that listed it out to showcase. They are estimates. The actual project dollar amount will not be known until bids go out, and that would be months down the road. It's hard to pinpoint.
That was I was going to ask that question next about, I feel like this is, in home ownership, right? Like if I'm going to build a new house, I go and sit down and talk with someone and say, I want X amount of square footage, these are the things that I want, and then I go back to the finances, right? Go to my bank and say, hey, what can you give me? What can I earn? What can I pay? And then once I have that approval, then I go and sit down with the real architects, draw up plans, those kinds of things, right? Is that the normal pattern for a home ownership? So if we correlate that to where we are now, we are at the bank phase, where we've done the work of, hey, these are the things that we think we need, these are the improvements that we have, this is going to be, quote unquote, a second mortgage if you carry on, because there's still some outstanding bonds that we had to pay from previous years, those kinds of things. And so now we're thinking, hey, we're going to have this, and then, it's going to be our goal to spend every single penny of that $32 million. Is that what I'm assuming?
Our goal is to get, go out for bid,
Mm-hmm.
and, we would love to come in under 32 million. That's obviously the goal,
Right.
is to come in under 32 million. But again, we have to, that's a really good analogy, the banking phase. We're in the, getting into the approval phase,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go out and we do the planning, we meet with the architects, we do the planning piece, and then we push those plans out for bid, just like you would if you were in fact building a home. And then you look at the bids that you got in.
And when you bid to people in New York and our
We push
our
that
cousins and
we
our
push
nephews and
that,
stuff
we
like
push
that.
that bid out to anybody that's
Gotcha.
qualified to bid on the school district is welcome to bid.
Gotcha. So even local folks that
Yes, sir.
may be looking.
Yes, sir.
And if we do call this bond and it gets approved, the voters say, give us a stamp of approval, we come back, we actually need 36 million. Is that possible?
No, sir.
No. So we can only do whatever the limit is, right?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
That's correct. We can only spend 32.
Okay, any other questions from the board? All right, well then, I will entertain a motion for an order calling a bond election to be held by the Itasca Independent School District, making provision for the conduct of the election and resolving other matters related to that election.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Matt, is there a second? Second by Susan. Any other discussion on this before we vote? Oh, and I need to state that, and part of the motion is the $32 million amount, maximum amount for the loan. All right, so if there's no other questions or discussion from the board, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Since that is the only action item on the agenda tonight, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Susan, is there a second? Second by Kendra. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. We will adjourn at 6:38 p.m.
Thank you for coming.
These were the questions they were trying to ask. For the record, a board or a council or a commissioner's court may absolutely address matters of fact that are brought up in public comments. They cannot discuss and give opinions about those things, but they can answer matters of fact. I've done it in my city council meeting. It happens in other school districts. It is legally allowed, but you just have to know how to do it and keep emotion out of it.